Chapter 2 The Jagged Mountains. The sun had started to set as Tag and Blaze landed softly in the snow. They had flown all day without stopping. Now they stood at the bottom of a tall mountain. "We've reached the Jagged Mountains," Tag said. "We flew so fast," Skyla said, jumping off Blaze's back. "I bet Thorns is way behind us." "There's no sign of the shadow," Tag agreed, shivering, "but a storm is coming." Whoo! The wind howled. Snowflakes swirled above them. Skyla rubbed her paws together. "It's so cold," she said. She wrapped her thick tail around herself. Tag looked at the mountain. "The crystal caverns must be on the other side of this," he said. "No fly?" Blaze asked as the wind blew harder. "No, Blaze," Tag said. "We can't fly. Not through this storm." "We could camp here until it's over," Skyla suggested. Tag shook his head. "We have to keep moving." He looked up. The mountain was so tall, it disappeared beneath the clouds. "We will have to climb." "To the top?" Skyla squeaked. Tag patted his sack to make sure the stone was safe. "We have to find the next piece of the emberstone before Thorn finds us." The friends started the steep climb up the mountainside. The snow fell fast as they climbed higher, until they could hardly see. But Blaze," Skyla said, her teeth chattering, "could your fire keep us warm?" "Beep," said Blaze. "The clouds should hide your firelight, but don't let the rings get too bright," Tag warned Blaze. Blaze thought for a moment, then nodded. Her wings began to glow. Her fiery feathers got warmer and brighter. Soon, Tag and Skyla started to warm up. The three friends pushed on through the storm. Finally, they reached the top of the jagged mountain. Tag dropped his sack. The sky was clear. The moon was full and bright. "You can see the whole of Perodia from here," Skyla said. Blaze ruffled her feathers. "Peep!" she cried, pointing her beak into the distance. The land to the north glowed white as far as the eye could see. In the very middle rose a huge sparkly diamond. Ted grinned at his friends. "We found the crystal caverns." Chapter 3 The Crystal Caverns. Ted soared down to the mountain. Blaze followed, with Skyla clinging to her back. They soon landed on the cool, glassy ice below. 5 huge ice caverns loomed ahead of them in a semicircle. Small, dirty mounds of snow surrounded the caverns. Glittering snowflakes fell from the sky. Skyla stuck out her tongue to catch one. "These snowflakes are as soft as feathers," she giggled. Blaze squawked, snapping at snowflakes with her beak. Tag looked at the caverns, hoping that the next piece of the emberstone would be easy to find. Suddenly, Skyla cried out, "Eek!" "Skyla?" Tag called. Skyla had disappeared. Blaze peeped at a hole in the snow where Skyla had been standing a moment before. Tag flew to Blaze's side and peered down inside. "I'm stuck!" Skyla yelled from the deep hole. She tried to climb out, but the snow crumbled in her paws. Tag reached out. "Grab my wing!" He took Skyla's paw and groaned as he pulled as hard as he could. Blaze held onto Tag's tail feathers, and helped him pull. Skyla finally broke free, and the friends landed in a jumble of feathers and fur. "Thanks, guys," Skyla said. She brushed snow from her tail, then hugged Tag and Blaze. Tag felt a prickle down his neck, as though someone was watching. I think we are being followed, he whispered. Let's keep moving. Skyla searched the sky for thorn spies. I'll keep an eye out for tiger bats, she said. Don't forget prickle ants, Tag added, looking at the ground. Peep, Blaze agreed, stamping her feet. Thorn spies, Tag thought with a shiver. Tiger bats, prickle ants. What other dark creatures could be out here? Skyla pointed to the 5 caverns. So which cavern hoards the Emberstone? She asked. I don't know, but the magical map should show us the way, Tag said. He unrolled the map and took out the piece of stone. Tag frowned. That's strange. The stone feels cold. Why isn't its magic working? Skyla asked. Tag sat on one of the small dirty mountains of snow to think. I'm not sure, Tag replied, but Blaze should be able to lead us to the next piece of the stone. Blaze, can you help? And Blaze nodded. Tag watched as Blaze hopped over to the caverns. She peered inside each one in turn. Then she stood in front of the largest cavern in the middle. Peep, she cried. I think Blaze wants to try that one, Skyla said. Tag looked at the biggest cavern. Before he could say anything, the mound beneath him suddenly moved. Tag jumped up. Behind him, another snow mound moved. Then another. What's happening? Skyla cried. She pulled out her slingshot as the snow rumbled and crumbled around her. Blaze snapped her beak at the snow. Then a large head popped out of one of the mountains. It was a huge spotted black and gray seal. Can we help you? The seal boomed. Blaze covered her ears. The sound echoed around the caverns as hundreds more seals popped up out of the snow. The black and gray seal shuffled toward them. His long white whiskers shook as he moved. Who are you? Skyla squeaked. I'm Gilbert, the seal said. He waved his flipper. Tag checked Gilbert's eyes. They were black. Did Thorn send you? Tag asked. Gilbert blinked. Who is Thorn? You haven't heard of Thorn? Skyla asked. Gilbert shook his head. We don't get many visitors. You are the first animals we've seen in a long time. He looked closely at Blaze. Although I think I've seen someone like you before. Pete? Blaze cried. You've seen a firehawk? Skyla asked. Gilbert nodded at Skyla. Are you a groundhog? He asked. I've always wanted to meet a groundhog. Ha ha ha. Skyla fell to the ground, howling with laughter. Skyla is a squirrel, Tag explained. I'm Tag, and I'm an owl. One day I will be an owl of valor. This is Blaze, Tag continued, the last Firehawk. That sounds important, said Gilbert. Tag showed Gilbert the piece of the Emberstone. It was still cold. Have you seen anything like this before? He asked. Gilbert shook his head. We think there's one just like it hidden inside here, Skyla said, pointing to the largest cavern. Oh no, cried Gilbert. Don't go in there. If you do, you won't come out. Pete? asked Blaze. It's too dangerous, Gilbert said. Years ago, a young seal named Coral Lee went inside. What happened to her? asked Tag. We never saw her again, Gilbert replied. Wah! A loud wailing noise came from the big cavern. Tag pulled out his dagger. Maybe we should wait until morning, Skyla said, moving closer to Tag. We could eat and rest tonight. Is it safe here? Tag asked Gilbert. We We'll keep you safe, Gilbert told him. He called more sails over. They quickly got to work, building a snow circle to hide the three friends. Then the seals buried themselves back down inside their snow mound. And we'll go into the cavern as soon as it's light out, Tex told Skyla and Blaze. Wow! Skyla jumped at the noise. Do we really have to go in there? She asked. We've got no choice, Ted told her. We have to find the next piece of the Emberstone. All of Perodia is counting on us.